We are here at Let Your Light Shine Creations, and we're going to be interviewing Pat today about her business and looking at some beautiful pieces in her studio. So welcome to Conversations with Yolanda. You're going to have a great time. And even in the snow, we make it happen. Hello, welcome to Conversations with Yolanda. I'm so excited to be here today with my special guest. You know, we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about ministry in the marketplace, and I am so excited to have my special guest here with me today. Well, we're on location, and so we're excited for you to join in with us with this conversation. Welcome to Conversations with Yolanda.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Pat, I'm so excited to be here at your place. We've talked about this for a while, and now we are here. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to have Pat kind of introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself, and then we're going to dive into really talking about her shop. She's very creative, using different materials, with paintings, with fabric. You're going to be amazed at some of the things she's taken and made some creative things that you could wear, that you could hang in your home, and that you can just have around your office. And so, Pat, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and how did you get started as an entrepreneur?
Well, it's always actually been my dream as a child. Yes. When I was 9 years old, I had this desire to want to paint. So it took, a few years, and I just said, you know what, Lord? I believe it's time. Yeah. And so the Lord began to open doors of opportunity for me. Wow. And so things just fell into place and ended up getting a shop. And this is what I'm doing, and this is my passion, actually. I love to paint. I love to create the things that you will be seeing on site here. And that's pretty much.
Yes. How old were you when you realized that you were gifted as an artist? You know, I always wanted to be an artist, but when I would look at what I was creating, whether it was painting, as I got older, I did a lot with clay and was better with that than actual painting. But how old were you when you realized that you really had a gift in that creative space?
It was actually when I was 9. Mm-hmm. My mom actually saw that in
really?
Me, and she got an easel for me, and she said, you know what? You need to do something with this. Mm-hmm. So I would just take things out, and I would just start painting with flowers and be very creative that way.
So one of the things that you just mentioned that I want to really spend a few minutes on it, and that you said, and I want you guys that are watching to really listen to this. Pat, you just said, my mom noticed it.
Yes.
And a lot of times we're missing sometimes what our kids are gifted at, especially at the times we want them to actually do what we did. Or we want them to be a doctor, or we want them to be a lawyer. And we're not looking at what they're really gifted at. But your mom noticed that.
Yes. And
she did something about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so important that we identify what our children are good at and really help them. I remember my son going to a expo, and it was a business expo, and it was young children starting their own business. And he came to me, he's like, Mom, I want to do that. And that's when I realized he was interested in business, and he ended up starting his own business at 11. Mm-hmm. But it was because I noticed it, and then I began to put him in those things that would really grow that gift that he had inside of him. So at 9, you realized you were gifted. Mm-hmm. Did you ever put that gift down and do something different and come back to it?
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about that.
Well, as I got older and my heart began to feel for people and the need to take care of people, I began to do nursing is what I did for a while. And I love to be outdoors, and I have also done construction work, building, with homes and things like that. And that's still
creative. You're still using, it's still a part of your that gift of being a creative person. I think God, it's in all of us. And we just have to find that place that's for us, whether it's painting, whether it's drawing, whether it's building something or creating something. I think we were born to create.
Yes. I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what field you're in either, of work.
Yes.
Because God gives you that creativity in you to bring it out of you. And once you realize that, that's when things become movable for you.
Yes. You know, I see a lot of pieces here in your studio of things that you've used, different kinds of fabrics. You've used different kinds of canvases, whether it's glass, whether it's a canvas piece. Tell me, what is that creative process for you? Kind of where do you start when you're really creating something? Kind of what comes in your mind, or is it a thought that you have? Kind of tell me a little bit about that process for you.
Well, when I come into the shop, a lot of times I will sit over at the table where I create. And a lot of times I'll just look at a blank canvas and actually I start to pray. And a lot of times thoughts will just rush and all of a sudden I'll start moving my hands.
Yes.
And there's times where when I am doing stuff in my paintings, people will begin to see things in the painting that I did not even create. So I know it's a God thing for me.
Yes.
You know, your creativity comes from the Lord.
Yes.
And I can't emphasize that enough. I know it's about business, but creativity comes from the Lord in anything that we do.
Absolutely.
So that's usually what happens. I will just sit at my table and I'll think about, okay, what is it that I want to create? Do I want to paint or craft, whatever it may be? And I will get a quick image of something and I start working on it. And before you know it, it's done.
Yes, that's great. One of the things that you just said that a part of your process is that you create something and someone else looks at it and they see something different. And that's when you can really understand that it is created and coming from God, from the Lord, because it's something that you didn't really realize was in the painting, but it was something that He wanted them to receive from the painting.
Yes.
And that's amazing to me that process happens. One of the things that I noticed, and you know, a lot of times we throw away lots of things. We clean out our closets and we get rid of a lot of things. And sometimes we don't think about how we can recycle those things. Right. One of the pieces that I love that you do is that you take men's ties and create some amazing pieces. So tell me, how did that come about? Did you just see old ties and say, let me try something with this? How was that for you?
I actually found it on another site. And it really caught my eye.
Yes.
And I said, I can do this.
Yes.
And I will do this.
Yes. Can you grab one of the pieces back behind you and we'll take a look? Just either one of any of them that was with a tie, so we can show them.
Let's take this one here.
Okay.
Because it's brighter.
Yes. So if you see this one, we would just see this as a man's tie and think we can't, as women, we can't wear it. But look at this. This would go well with anything that you're wearing. So what did you want to say about this piece here?
Well, what I wanted to say was that's the one thing I do like about it, because it is a man's tie. And guess what, ladies? We can wear them now.
Yes.
You don't have to, you know, have a man's tie.
Exactly.
So it's very easy to put on.
Yes.
And you can wear this in an evening with a dress.
Yes.
You can wear it with a pair of jeans. And it's very business looking.
Exactly.
And yet casual.
Yes.
And that was my thing. I wanted people to have a variety of how they want to wear something. Or my paintings, how they want to see it.
Exactly. So I love this piece here and the different ways that you have created bags with ties and taking old jeans and making bags. And I think it's that creative process that we have to see that God can use whatever you have in your hand.
Yes.
And that's in any situation. As an entrepreneur, what has been the things that's been the hardest for you when you're stepping out as an entrepreneur? You're an artist, you're creative, but you're also a business owner. So share with me some of the things that you've seen that have been hard for you as a creative on the business side. So when you think about your business as an entrepreneur, when you first stepped out and started doing this, I'm going to make money from this. What was the first thing you thought about in that process?
Mm. Well, I really didn't think a whole lot on it.
Mm-hmm. And that happens
What
a
I
lot.
did was I really just stepped out in faith.
There you go.
That is actually what I did.
Yes.
I knew my calling for it, and I just felt that God was directing my footsteps, and I went for it.
Yes.
And sometimes we have to think on it, but we also have to move forward in it. And that's what will bring it to you, is your faith to believe what you have been told, how your life has been spoken, and then move upon it.
Yes, that is so good. And I think a lot of people forget that you can be the most gifted person, but if you never take action, you never move forward with it, you're just a gifted person nobody knows about.
Exactly.
It takes faith and it takes action. We have to get the idea. We have to put a plan together. I always encourage my clients, have a written plan. Even if you don't know how to do a full business plan, have something written, because the word says, write the vision, make it plain so others can come alongside you. If you don't have it written, nobody can come alongside you because you don't have anything for them to come alongside with. And so I think even if you have an idea, you need to be able to move forward. Even if you can't see the full picture, you need to be able to take that first step.
Right.
So what would you say to creatives that want to get started and start their own business selling their art pieces?
To believe in yourself and step out, like I said, to basically what I keep feeling is believe in yourself. Know that you can do these things.
Yes.
You know what's in you. Just start allowing yourself to move into what you know you're supposed to do.
Exactly. So how can people reach you? What are you online? Can they reach you online? Do you ship to people? Tell me a little bit about how people can get pieces of your artwork.
I am on Facebook, and I do post things on Facebook. And if anybody is interested in a piece, yes, I would ship it to you anywhere. Yes. Just let me know exactly, what piece, and we can do that.
So I'm so excited to be here with Pat. Pat, what's the name of your business? We've been talking about all the pieces and the artwork that you're doing. We haven't mentioned the business name.
The business name is Let Your Light Shine Creations. And I will really want to emphasize on that.
Yes.
Because when I was thinking about what I do, creating things, and I was praying actually, and I heard the scripture. Let your light shine creations.
Yes.
So that all men could see your good work.
Exactly.
And it just clicked. I was like, that's it. That is what it's about.
Absolutely.
So that's how the name actually came about.
So as you heard, Pat will deliver. She will ship to you. We're excited about new things that's going to be coming for her pieces in different places and being really innovative and out of the box kind of thinking. A lot of times we can be comfortable with old ways of doing business, but I think this is a season that we'll be looking at more innovative ways to get businesses out there. As you can see, even storefronts are going away. People are not having brick and mortar. They're being online. They're doing pop-up shops. They're doing business in different ways to really reach more people. And I'm excited to be able to start seeing some of that happen for Pat in this business so that more people can experience the work that she's just doing here in her studio. And so we thank you for joining us here today. And we look forward to bringing you more stories like Pat's. One of the reasons that I do this show is really to make you aware of different entrepreneurs that are out there doing really creative things. Is one thing to jump out and be an entrepreneur. A lot of times we will be working in a solo kind of setting and not have support and encouragement. So this podcast and this show is really meant to really spotlight entrepreneurs that are out in the marketplace, and also to remember that we can be called to different sectors. Sometimes we're called to work in the church. Sometimes we're called to government. Sometimes we're called to business. But it is a calling, and it's no less of a calling than being a pastor of the church if you feel like this is your ministry. Mm-hmm. And for Pat, I know she feels like this is really part of her ministry. Yes. So Pat, tell me, where do you see the business going as a ministry and as a business for you? What are some of the things that you dream about doing with your business?
For me, I know since I have had this shop open, mm-hmm. there has been people that have come in and have bought the items, but they also have asked, because sometimes just the name alone, mm-hmm. they have told me how it has blessed them in such a way.
Yes.
And when I feel the Spirit of the Lord, I will pray. Mm-hmm. And many people say that when they come in, they can actually feel the presence of the Lord. Yes. So it is a place that can be ministered to other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And your reach is not just here locally in Virginia, because you have pieces that are already in the continent of Africa that people have purchased, in Trinidad that people have purchased, in Tennessee that people have purchased. And so this business is not just a local business, it's an international business. And so you could be anywhere and get some of the products she has here. And so I want to thank you for joining us today for the show, Conversations with Yolanda, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.